As one of the three fundamental shapes in Wing Chun, along with Tan and Bong, Jum Sau has many applications. This short video aims to give newcomers to the art some idea of the different ways in which Jum can be used in practice. One of the first places a student will encounter a Jum type shape in their training is in the rear guard hand of a turning punch. The rear guard hand, or Gwor Sau, can be used to deflect an incoming punch while you simultaneously strike back. The shape can be allowed to collapse somewhat upon contact with the punch to better facilitate deflection of the attack and also to minimise the risk of being knocked out of your stance. Here are some ways you might apply this idea. The idea can also be used inside gate. However, in this instance, to ensure the punch is diverted away from your centre line, it's important to maintain a strong structure and not let the shape collapse. The turning of your body will then divert the punch away from your centre line. As can be seen here, maintaining good structure in the shape will also ensure that any strength the puncher tries to use will not destabilise you and will pass through your frame, through your back leg, then into the ground, essentially meaning he's pushing against the ground. The turning punch drill is a good way of training this idea, as it allows you to test a Jum's structural strength against your partner's punch. Here are a few examples of how you might apply inside gate Jum in application. You might use it as a frame to stop your partner pushing across your arm, as seen here. Or if your partner's pressing into you, you might turn with Jum and use it to divert him away from you. Another place you might remember seeing Jum is in single Chi Sau. In this drill, we're learning to use Jum to follow an incoming arm, and to ensure that the attacker's arm can't make its way into a position where it can be a danger to us. It also teaches us that once we've used Jum to get on top of the arm and control it, we can then strike off. In practical application, after controlling the arm, a simple strike off to the throat will be sufficient. It's important after having been struck to the throat to acknowledge it by paying respects and not to disregard it an after hit, as there can be no coming back from such a critical strike. It's also very important to note that you must take great care when striking to the throat, and inexperienced students are advised to aim for the sternum instead. Self-defense wise this works very well too, but if you feel such a dangerous strike is unwarranted in the situation, it can easily be exchanged for a side punch. As you can see from the example, this may lead to the attacker turning their face away from the punch, allowing you to follow up with further attacks. In the case of getting on top of your opponent's arms and then striking off, other shapes such as Jum Sau, or generally covering their arm with yours, can also be used, though in the instance that you may want to remain on top of the arm, Jum is preferable, as it's a very strong structure which connects very solidly to your trunk. This means that if the opponent tries to raise his arms, he must essentially lift your entire body weight, which would be very difficult. His only option then is to go around or retract his arm, in which case you simply strike forward. In Gwor Sau, Jum can prove very useful. It can be used just to hold your ground, to regain your centre line when outside gate, to draw in and monitor an incoming arm, or to sink onto your opponent's arm. Since Jum's a very compact shape, it's structurally very strong and doesn't collapse easily under pressure. Therefore, it can be used effectively to hold off your opponent. In sparring, you might use Jum or a derivative called Lan, shown here, in order to hold your opponent off you. It would be unrealistic to expect a smaller person to be able to hold off a larger and stronger opponent in the manner shown here for very long, but using a Jum type idea in this instance will give you the time needed to change tack. Using the shape to hold off your opponent may then result in him applying extra pressure in order to try to overpower you, which makes it easier for you to then turn or pivot and divert them away from you. Mastery of Jum Sau should certainly help your guard hand skills in general, as a good understanding of the shape manifests itself in an improved Mun Sau, or asking hand, as the student begins to understand that a slight shortening of the arm makes it stronger, and used in conjunction with a good stance, allows him or her to hold their ground better and to generally feel they have more stability. This ability to create a strong structure with your body and effectively brace yourself against the ground against incoming pressure is demonstrated in this somewhat cliched but effective example of me lifting my front leg off the floor. I have no need of it, as all the pressure is being channeled through my arm, hip and rear leg into the ground. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it's been helpful. If you'd like more information on Wing Chun, please visit our website.